Hi, I'm Stan Cody. I'm with Fender. Welcome to NAMM, Winter NAMM 2019. We have 6 brand new pedals with us this year, so I'll go through the lineup really quickly. So we have the Pinwheel. Pinwheel is our rotary speaker simulator. It does a 122, a 145, and a vibratone. It also emulates the power amp in a 122 or a 145, so you can get some grind with it. It's true stereo in and out. It has foot switches for bypass and for fast and slow with a brake function. There are controls separately for fast, slow speeds as well as the ramp time. It has a cool feature that you'll see in a couple of other pedals where it dynamically senses your playing. As you dig in more, it'll speed up, and then when you kind of relax your playing, it'll slow back down. It's really fun and expressive to play. So it's true stereo. There's a switch on it to voice it either for keyboard players or for guitar players. So it works well with a guitar rig like a traditional guitar amp, or also with flat monitors in a keyboard situation. So that's the Pinwheel. The Bubbler is an analog chorus, true analog chorus, mono in, stereo out. It has the same thing where it has 2 sets of rates and depth controls, and it morphs between them. So it'll speed up and slow down, much like a Leslie would. It has the same dynamic sensing control on them, so it'll follow your playing. It's got a level control for the chorus, pretty straightforward. So that's the Bubbler. Next up is the Lost Highway Phaser. This is an analog phaser. It's 4 or 8 stages. Both of these have either triangle or sine modulation. This has all the same stuff with 2 rates, 2 depths, and it morphs between them. The dynamic sensing is here as well. There's a feedback control and a blend control, and this can do everything from like classic disco phasing to kind of vibier sounds to more pure vibrato kinds of sounds. And there's some neat stuff you can do dynamically by playing harder, where you can bring a vibrato in and make it kind of fade away, so stuff like that. So that's the Lost Highway. Next up, we have the MTG Tube Distortion. We did this with our buddy Bruce Egnator, who we love. Bruce is great, and this pedal turned out really, really good. I'm really, really happy with it. This is a true tube distortion pedal. It uses a new old stock US-made military 6205 tube. It runs on 150 volts DC, so when people talk about high voltage tubes, this really is. But it's got a DC to DC switcher power supply inside, so the very cool thing about it is it's just running on a 9 volt DC input. In this case, it's running from a Voodoo Lab pedal power. It draws about 300 milliamps, so it needs a high current output, but 9 volts DC is fine for it. It has 3-band tone controls, it has Bruce's tight control, has a gain control, a master volume control, and then there's a foot switchable boost. The boost gives you more gain as well as more output level. So it cleans up super nicely, just as you'd expect a high voltage tube circuit to do. It's not super shreddy. It gets good high gain rock tones, but I wouldn't describe it as like a total metal pedal or a death metal pedal or anything. It's more classically voiced. In the middle here is our Downtown Express. This is our first bass pedal. This was designed by Alex Aguilar. This is a compressor, and it's a studio style true RMS compressor. It's an overdrive circuit. Alex did a great job with the overdrive. It's voiced for bass, so it doesn't rob low end from you, and also it has a cabinet simulator built in. So when you kick it on, if you're playing through a bass amp with a tweeter or you're going direct, it doesn't get all fizzy. It has a 3-band EQ. It has a DI output with a ground lift switch. It has a tuner output. There's a mute foot switch, so you can tune silently. So that's a bass multi, kind of one-stop shop, Downtown Express. And then last up is the Treverb. The Treverb is our take on all of the effects from various Fender amplifiers. So it has a 63 spring, a 65 spring, and it has an ambient kind of modulated plate sound, just for fun, on one side. On the other side, it has an opto trem, a bias trem, and a harmonic vibrato. So an opto trem is like from a deluxe reverb or a twin reverb. The bias trem is from a Princeton reverb, something like that, where it modulates the power tube bias. And the harmonic vibrato actually came from the Brown amps a few years earlier. So this pedal is also true stereo in and out. So all these run from 9 volts, very normal stuff. The tremolo has a tap tempo feature. If you hold the bypass button down for a second, it goes into tap mode. You can tap the rate you want. So that's the Treverb. That's the lineup for NAMM.